Hey, it's Canaan Smith. This is my Bobby Bones Ask Anything Chat. Y'all sent in a bunch of questions, and now I'm going to answer them. Thanks, Bobby Bones, for having me on. Kay from Easton says, what was the most memorable thing from the Where It All Began tour with Dan and Shay? Man, I got my band guys pretty good on April Fool's Day while we were out on the road with Dan and Shay. It was one of those days where I wanted to surprise them as best as I could and get them real good. So what I did is I swapped out the cream and some Oreos with some minty toothpaste when they weren't looking, and then got them real good right before the show started. Everybody took a bite of a Lucky Oreo, and it pretty much ruined their night but made my day. So that was awesome. Thanks for the question, Kay. Ashley from Covington says, what was the best place you performed and why? I'm not sure which tour you're talking about, but every place that I play is an amazing time for me. It all depends on the fans. If you guys show up ready to party and have a good time, it doesn't matter where we're at. It's going to be an awesome, memorable night. So I've had tons of those. I've been very lucky. Thank you guys for rocking it with me. Kelsey from Champaign says, what's your favorite song to perform? I really love playing all my songs live. Just recently, I guess, though, it's Love You Like That. You know, just because everybody's familiar with the song, they're singing at the top of their lungs. Sometimes I put the mic down and people just sing for me, and that's an amazing feeling. Standing on a stage, looking out there, and hearing everybody sing it back to you. There's nothing like that. Emily from Oklahoma City, she said, if you could spend the day with any country performer, who would it be? I've always been a fan of George Strait. I just think he's so cool. I'd love to do some roping and riding with him on his ranch in Texas. I think that'd be a blast. Thanks, Emily. Samantha from Tulsa says, what's some of the coolest stuff you've received from a fan and the strangest? Man, I just got a really cool bracelet the other night that had a Bronco on it. It was a leather bracelet that had this like iron Bronco that they had shaped and molded to the bracelet. I thought that was amazing. That was a really cool gift. The strangest was a pair of adult diapers, unused, but nonetheless really weird. That was crazy. Good question. Whitney from Grand Rapids says, what's the meaning behind your horse tattoo? My Bronco horse tattoo is in honor of my brother who I lost in a car accident, and he was driving a Ford Bronco. And it's also the title track of my album that came out 2 days ago called Bronco. Grace from Omaha says, who are your favorite bands or singers at the moment? I like so many things out there. I really like Sturgill Simpson's new album. I think he's done a great job of just kind of capturing that throwback Waylon Jennings style of country music and making it modern. So I've been into that a lot. Brittany from Rochester says, what's your biggest dream you want to be able to accomplish in the next year or two? I'm living the dream right now already, but I just want to build on this. I want to be playing headlining sold-out arena shows myself, you know, and we're on our way to that, hopefully, you know, just step by step, meeting you guys, you fans coming out and showing up and buying tickets to the shows, and all that's adding up to making my dream come true. So y'all stick with me. We're going to do this together. Mateo from Minden, she says, if it isn't personal, may I ask you how you proposed? I asked Christy to marry me last March, and we got married in August. I asked her on a boat dock. I had the ring tucked away in a pack of gum, one of those little foil sleeve pack things. I tucked it in there and had it in my pocket for about a week because we were traveling. I was waiting for the right time. We were out on a boat dock and I asked her. So that was the best memory of my life so far. Caitlin from Cartersville says, what's going to be your next single? I can't tell you that yet, Caitlin, but I can tell you it's awesome and you're going to love it. So stay tuned and be ready in advance to call your radio stations and spread the word, all right? Jen from New Providence says, what's your favorite sport to play? I like it all. I really like it all. When I was a kid, I played basketball like crazy, and then when I got to high school, I started skateboarding and playing soccer. These days, it's tough to devote much time to sports just because I'm so run and gun these days. But in the back lot, we play frisbee and stuff like that on the road just to get some exercise. A little bit of cornhole. I whooped on Kit Moore the other night in cornhole, actually, and he was a sad pup after that. Kyra from Endicott says, who was your biggest motivation when you first started your career? Man, it's crazy. I've had so many different influences musically. The Beatles were a big one. George Strait was a big one. And even Dierks Bentley has been a big influence on my music career. I just like guys that stay true to who they are and swing for the fence. Next question is from Julie from Toronto. She said, "You come up with the concept for the Love You Like That video." I had a great director, Mark Klesfeld, that wrote the treatment, but we sat down together and sort of envisioned the style of the video, how gritty we wanted it to be, how sexy we wanted it to get, all of that stuff we kind of did together. But he was mainly the brains behind the first original concept, so kudos to him. I love the way it turned out. Michelle from Richmond says, "Which song on Bronco is the most personal to you and why?" Great question. I think Bronco itself, that song, is the most personal because it came from a story about losing my brother when I was younger into a car accident. And retelling that is obviously tough to do at times, but it's important to do as a songwriter, to be as honest as you can and to talk about the truth. And so that one really is nothing but the truth, and that's why it stays probably the most personal one on the album. Jamie from Pittsburgh says, "What's the longest you've ever grown your hair?" When I was younger, I had pretty long hair. It was like skater kid style hair, you know. It wasn't past my shoulders or anything, but it was a lot longer than it is now. And I don't know if it looked that good or not, so probably won't go back to that ever again. Gabby from Orlando says, "Have you ever forgotten your lyrics on stage?" Absolutely. I do it a lot. You know, it's just like, it's hard to remember so many songs. In the moment, I worry about focusing on the fans and entertaining. And sometimes I get so caught up in those entertaining moments and our interactions together that the lyric just kind of, it's not that I forget it, it's just I forget where I'm at in the song. And sometimes I trip up a little bit, but that's all part of it, I guess. Thanks, Gabby. Good question. Lily from Oklahoma City says, "What's the last thing you ate?" I think cereal, late night cereal on the bus last night. Played a show in Greenville, South Carolina. Had an awesome time there. Got back on the bus and poured some cereal, sat down, had a nice little bowl of cereal, watched some TV, and called it a night. And that was what I ate last. Hey, thanks again to Bobby Bones and everybody who's sending questions for today's Ask Anything Shindig. See you next time.